This is Staff Sergeant Simpson's introduction video for YouTube. As you can see, former Air Force Staff Sergeant. Nothing really to brag about. I served 6 years, earned some ribbons, deployed a few times. I actually met my wife overseas on my last deployment, I guess. And she's still active duty, but I decided to get out and pursue other avenues. Now I'm a DoD contractor, so I still get to go overseas. Still fighting the war effort, I guess, do security and stuff like that overseas. I'm no expert, so I want to reiterate that many times that I'm not an expert. I'm just an average everyday person, just like everyone else. And there's hundreds of others just like me on YouTube that are probably saying the same stuff. And I've probably watched all of them. Got a lot of great ideas from them. I just feel like some of them they get so redundant that people kind of quit watching, quit listening. And it's a shame because most of it's really good information. But it's just the same stuff over and over, regurgitated all the time. It just gets old. So I'm hoping to maybe do something a little different. I've started a blog, and it's more on the lines of disaster preparedness, more so than survival stuff, but it is survival disaster outdoors. It's on Blogspot. This is more of a hobby, I guess, for me. I've been doing it for 5-6 years, I guess, and I've accumulated a lot of stuff, a lot of knowledge. I've did some survival classes, both as a student and as an instructor, both military and civilian. Did some, tactics training, stuff like that for military, which is good to have, but your average person doesn't really need that kind of stuff. It kind of just depends on what you're preparing for. And I'm gonna cover just all different types of scenarios, everything. I'm not really gonna get into like zombie stuff or 2012 and all that stuff. Just for me personally, I don't really buy into a lot of that stuff. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's an immediate threat for me and my family. What I do think is an immediate threat are natural disasters, stuff like that. Financial collapse could happen. So I talk a lot about financial security in my blogs and financial survival. It's very important these days, and everyone has been affected somehow by what's going on these days in this country. And it's a shame. It really is a shame that it's happened, but it has happened, and we have to prepare ourselves. And that's what I hope to pass on is, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of practical training and practical, practicing of stuff. And I want to share that with others. And if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, that's cool too. You don't have to like what I say, and you don't even have to agree with what I say. That's what makes this a great country, because we can disagree and go on with our lives and no big deal. I put all this together because it's kind of what I've seen everyone else do. This will probably be the last time you see any of this stuff, because I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be totally different. Have some firearms out that I'd like to talk about in other videos. This is just the introduction, kind of let you know what I'm about and what I would like to do. I have a lot of kits made up for, get home bags and bug out bags, day hike bags. I have bags for my wife, for my son, for my dog, for the vehicles. So lots of different stuff that I put together. I live in a lot of different places, been around a lot of different environments. Currently we live in Alaska, and it has its ups and downs. It's nice up here, especially if you're outdoors. It's great, and I suggest everyone try to at least visit up here, because it's got a lot to offer. We've been here since 2008. Met my wife on my last deployment, and she got orders to come up here. She's senior airman, still active duty, and so we're currently living up here. Originally, I guess, I moved around so much. Originally, I don't know where I'm from, but I did most of my growing up in southern Indiana. So I worked on hog farms. I was a lumberjack for a long time. Worked in some factories. So I'm just your average person, just trying to get by like everybody else. I've lived in Florida, Texas, Louisiana, North Dakota, and now Alaska. Been through a hurricane and it was pretty hairy. Tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanic eruption up here just happened last year, I believe. Mount Redoubt blew up, and we were pretty safe, but we had ash cloud and all that stuff. Both times I deployed overseas had sandstorms, and those are no joke either. It's pretty eerie, really. But these are all the things that you need to prepare for. In my opinion, these are the threats. These are the potential threats that more than likely will happen. If you want to prepare for zombies, that's your prerogative, and go for it. Me personally, I'm not going to. But luckily, most of preparation is all the same. It all works for the same purpose. You need food, you need shelter, you need clothing. All those things kind of go hand in hand. So you can prepare for just about anything with just a few basic kits. You've got it down. At least it's a better shot than nothing anyway. On some of my points that I would like to talk about in some of my future videos would be food storage and stock rotation. That's a big one. I hear questions about that all the time, and there's a lot of discussions about it, a lot of misinformation I think out there on some of these things that I'm going to talk about. Firearm choices and selection. I'd like to make a video about that. I'm not going to do it on this one, but for sure, definitely want to. Like I said, what I like might not be what you like, and that's fine. All I can give you is the experience I have with what firearms I do have. So if you want review on something else that I don't have, then you're going to have to find someone else who does it. I'm not going to talk about a firearm unless I've used it, and I just don't think that's right to do so. And I can't tell you, well, you should buy this or you should buy that, because each person's different and each function is going to be different. Frequently overlooked items. That is a real big thing that a lot of people, that I've never seen really people talk about. And it's simple things, but it's very important things that you need to remember in survival situations or disaster situations. So I'd like to talk about that. Natural disaster preparation, of course. That's what my main goal is here, is to prepare for that sort of stuff. Home defense kind of goes along with firearms, but it doesn't have to. But it definitely warrants its own topic and should be discussed, I think, a lot more frequently than it is. Financial survival, that is a biggie, especially in this economy, especially these days in this country. That's a real threat that a lot of people have, that is happening all over the world. Millions of people are affected by this. So it definitely needs to be talked about, more so than 2012 prediction or zombies walking the earth, in my opinion. Of course, your bug out bags, your EDCs, everyday carry bags, stuff like that. Sure, you definitely need to talk about that kind of stuff. That's very important. And then the last thing that I guess I could talk about for a separate topic would be emergency roadside kits. Everyone should have one of those. I mean, that's pretty standard. I mean, everyone's got a lug wrench, everyone's got that kind of stuff. So that's important. So those are the topics that I want to talk about in my videos. Those are the types of things that I think are real threats, that I think sometimes with the way things are going, with the internet and everything kind of gets, I don't know, glamorized, or I don't know, whatever. But you don't need to be Mr. G.I. Joe and have all this crap to survive. You just don't need that stuff. And I think more of that's more of a status symbol than anything. And these guys that want to make videos and show off all the gear that they have, it's just for showing it off. That's all they want to do. I want to educate. That's what I want to do. I want to help others think of things that maybe they didn't think of before. And maybe I can learn a few things with viewers who, send replies and remarks and comments. That's what it's interacting with each other, not just saying, hey, well, look at me, I'm so special, I have all this crap. That's great for you. Awesome. But do you know how to use it? Do you know what it's for? Those are the important things. So until next time, I'm going to get some more videos going up, and hopefully it'll help you out. And if it doesn't, if you don't like what I have to say, then no harm, no foul. Later.